We had three goals for our supernova project. First, we wanted to find the center of what makes the internet computer different. Second, we wanted to attempt the whole project in TypeScript. Third, we wanted to leave behind resources that would make it easier for others to build on IC after this hackathon. We start with a breathing machine. Decentralized Time is a service that every 10 seconds checks to see whether it has messages in its queue that it's supposed to send out. In fact, it implements more efficiencies to try to make the cycle cost go down as far as we can get it, and I'm sure we'll be able to do better in the future. When you just get to the site, which is hosted, of course, on IC at FL5MH, you are presented with how many checks it's already done, how many messages it's already sent, and also how many of the native utility tokens it's used to do its checks so far. We can click in to just get started by integrating through the plug wallet. Say allow. It immediately identifies that we don't have any DTI token yet. For the purpose of this hackathon, we've made it free for anybody to be able to mint up to 10 tokens, and I can just click this button and mint. And hooray, I should have myself a token. 1 token. 1 token pays for about 10 checks or 10 messages to get sent out, sort of depending on the math, because messages are scheduled to go out further in the future, cost a little bit more as part of the way the economics of the token work. I can mint up to 10 messages if I want to, and then I can also set up schedules. I can decide that I want to have messages that go out every, say, few seconds by adding periodic pulse, and I can set it to a canister and what functions should go to and how many seconds should be delayed between them. And that delay can be anywhere from 10 to 100 to 1,000, whatever turns out to be most helpful for somebody. If you want to have something that's going out further apart, usually that's because you want to have something more like a daily schedule or a weekly schedule, and you can say that you want your particular canister to go out and be scheduled to run at a certain time, maybe say, 4:23, in the morning, but that of course is going to be in UTC because that's the way it's able to keep track of time, because it's not as aware of how local time works in your jurisdiction. That way we get to keep it moving on a going forward basis. Note that until I put in a valid principal, it won't actually allow me to submit. And I'll also have to put in a valid function. I will test both of those in just a second. I can also set, weekly or monthly schedules, as well as, if I want to, not send something recurring, but send a one-time message that would, just say, okay, fire off on a very particular time, on a very particular day, say maybe the 24th at a certain time, to run the function on this particular canister. In order to make this easier to test, we created a second front-end, back-end pairing that is over here. We call it the tester. And we created, and you can just click here to grab the function principal, and we can say that we want our pulse to go out. Let's see what's not being used right now. We'll say counter to tick. We're going to say that should be reset. Great. And now I will make it so that it will fire off. And I'll paste. And I'll say it should go off every, 10 seconds. Just to go nice and quickly, and I will say that it should be, sent to that particular function. Paste. And now I'm able to submit because now it meets all the criteria. And now in 10 seconds, it will actually pulse on ticker test. You'll notice that it pulses every time it receives a message. And it got its first message, and that message would have come from us. So we want to make it easy to test as well as easy to deploy and even use. And we reduce code costs by abstracting away date complexity. Just select when you want your event to fire, and DTI takes care of all the housekeeping for you. We implemented DTI as a DIP20 utility token under the covers and applied it to DAB to get listed. For this hackathon, we are offering the free gift of DTI token to pay for the initial set of queries. Self-scheduling canisters can activate without people around it at minimal cost, and be easier to make persistent, changing game worlds, DAO governments with election dates, and a plethora of new persistent services that are not possible on other blockchains. We're excited about the potential of these services. Self-starting turns internet computers into internet robots. A second aspect of our project was to do the whole thing in TypeScript. We're big fans of TypeScript and the tooling that surrounds it. We wanted the technical challenge of going all the way through without Motoko or regular JavaScript. DTI is a reference case in using the ASL library, and we implemented a number of advanced features using the system. We implement dynamically keyed mappings to survive across upgrades. We have complex stable storage. We made it support div20, and of course, it supports Heartbeat in a uniquely cost-saving way. We also implemented TypeScript on the front end by wrapping a Create React App front end using a structure that looks more like a monorepo. In fact, we were able to extend this structure to easily add the tester. We hope this will provide a guide for others who want to build a non-trivial service using TypeScript, which in the medium term will make it much easier to deploy for all sorts of people who came from the world of web development. Third, we want to give back to the community. In addition to sharing our repository as open source, we made two other gifts. First, we made useplug, an NPM package that wraps the use of the plug wallet into a React container and hook so that it's easy to interact with actors using the plug authentication. Second, we made IC-Asl React TS template, a GitHub template repository to make it easy for people to get started with end-to-end TypeScript in IC, including a well-tooled Create React App TypeScript template on the front end. As a bonus, the package comes with React Router and Tailwind already loaded in to make it easy to get going. We are very grateful to the Divinity Foundation, the IC community, and in particular Demergent Labs and Jordan Last for their help in getting our project firing on all cylinders. We're excited about this community and the DTI project itself. We can't wait to see what's next. Maybe DTI will remind us in the future.